Add source. Default. My headset microphone. Done. Okay. Stream is not coming up for me yet. There we go. Wait. Everything's muted. James, everything's muted. I don't know what you're trying to do here.
I thought it wasn't.
We're good. We're up. No, it's not muted.
Oh, wait. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of our Esports Unlocked podcast.
Caught there.
Today, I am joined by my lovely co-host, Esther Space, also known as Sus.
Hi. It is.
And then, go on.
No, I was just gonna say it's me. I wasn't gonna add anything else there.
And then we also have the lovely Arina from the Washington Justice. Hello, Arina.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. And you?
Got COVID tested this morning, so that's always fun. At least it's like not the nasal swab that like goes all the way back. They've updated it. It's the future.
Yeah. When I had my COVID test, I had 3 swabs to the back of the throat, and then one like not all the way up the nose, but just like in the nose like 10 seconds. So it wasn't like all the way up the nose painful, but it was so uncomfortable.
That just makes me shiver.
Yeah.
Like when I first read like how COVID tests were being done, like the nasal swab when it goes like into your navel cavity and stuff, they're just like it feels like it's touching your brainstem or something. Then I had it done, and I was like, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. I have a friend who had to do 2 of them, and the first time they said like it felt like it was scratching behind my eye, and the second time he said he felt like it was stabbing his brain. Yeah, I don't think particularly pleasant.
It's an experience that you will hopefully never have to do again.
Yeah.
Well, the new one is meant to go somewhere else. Have you heard of that?
No. Okay. Hopefully, luckily they keep us safe, and hopefully we won't have them forever, because the vaccine's coming out now. However, that is not the point of this podcast. We are here to interview Arina.
Yes. Esports.
Hey, COVID is playing a huge part in esports, so it's relevant.
As we shall talk about later.
Arina is the community and communications specialist for the Overwatch League team Washington Justice, with which who I've done a lot of work with. We have organized events together, and we have helped a lot with. Arina is an amazing person, helping a lot with events and sorry, I've re-shivered something out before I started speaking. She has done so much for the team, and she's an amazing person.
Hello, it's me. An amazing person.
We stand self-confidence.
So let's get into the questions while we see your cats in the background.
Yeah, I have 2 of them, so if you can tell which one is which, kudos to you.
So, how did you get into esports?
So, my first experience with esports was I was going to school at the University of Washington, which is in Seattle, Washington, in the US. And if you know what like Seattle is like has like business-wise, it has like Nintendo and Valve, and it's where they used to host the International every year, like no matter what. They never moved it until Key Arena had to shut down for maintenance, because apparently every year during the International they would shred the seats like so badly or something, and it's just like it finally reached a point where they're just like, okay, we're just refurbishing the whole Key Arena, which is a basketball stadium. It used to host like the Seattle's NBA team until that went away, and then it hosted the women's basketball team there for until like they closed it and renovated it. So I was in Seattle in the summer doing an internship, and I just noticed all these nerds are on my bus. I'm just like, what is happening? Who are these people? Why are they dressed up? And I don't know. Like sometimes you can just tell them they're just gamers and stuff. So the International was actually just like a couple blocks from where I was working. So during a lunch break, I walked over to. It's actually like in the Space Needle area center. So walked over to the Space Needle and was like, "What's happening? What is this?" And they were just like, "Oh, it's the international for this game called Dota 2. The grand prize was like, I don't know, $4 million or something that year." And just learned a lot about it, got hooked into it, and from there I watched it throughout my undergrad career, did a little bit with my college's esports club, just like casually, and then once I moved to New York, I like fully delved in and got involved into esports because that was also when the Overwatch League was kicking up.
Yeah.
So I watched Overwatch because I was a fan of the game, and I was like, "Oh, I can just watch them play in the background while I'm studying. This is great." Didn't know how much I would fall in love, like, just watching competitive Overwatch. It was so amazing seeing, like, people have strategies and working together, and then, of course, getting to know the players a little bit more. It was just so exciting to watch. And then I knew had all that background information. And then going into the Overwatch League, I was excited to see it happen. I knew about like the home base model, knew New York was going to have a team. So I was just like, okay, how do I get involved in watching this with other people and celebrating esports in our area, especially because like it's a New York team where we're going to do great and all that stuff. Um, Luckily, Rich, Great Root Bear, from Five Deadly Venoms and Toronto Alpha Flight, started the first watch party in New York City, and I saw it on Twitter, and I'm like, great, that means there's people already there. I can go attend these events and talk to people about esports that I love all about. Because the first week I actually was at the opening weekend for Blizzard Arena, and I was just like, this is really cool.
Nice. That's
Want to keep
awesome.
watching it. Lucky that New York already started it up and they didn't need the New York Excelsior to do any groundwork there. So yeah, I went back to New York, started watching the games casually, and since I was still a student, I just had a bunch of time and I was just like, I can show up early, I can stay late to help out with anything. And just by that, I became really involved with the Five Deadly Venoms and was basically the live events person where I was like checking people in or checking our staff in, making sure everything was running smoothly, the run of show and stuff like that. And then from that experience, I was recommended to the Washington Justice because I was doing so much groundwork, and they're like, "Oh, this is exactly what we needed a person to do for us." And then I got hired by the Justice, started doing live events, started doing all the planning, and stuff like that, and here we are, getting more and more experience with
Yeah.
the Justice as I have taken on the communications role here.
Yeah, so
It's a long story. It is
yeah,
a
no, no,
a
no,
lot
no,
of my life,
yeah,
from
that's great.
to math.
So what exactly is your role of justice? Like, what exactly do you help with and do?
So I started out with the Grassroots community coordinator, which was just planning local events. How I saw it was like the Overwatch League was the head content, and I was like putting together shoulder content to supplement people to keep getting involved and having a place for people to come together, enjoy the game, enjoy the team, celebrate everything. So my first year was putting on a lot of watch parties, so many in any location that we were given the opportunity. Going into my second year was the homestands. Oh, then that means like in the off season, I would try to find events to do between um, other DC like entities. So we did a co event with DC United, which is our local soccer team here.
Yeah.
So that was fun just doing any sort of live events. Like they're just like, oh, if you want an event on, she'll do it for you, whether it's like in person, online, all that great stuff.
Yeah.
And then recently the communications role, it's basically more or less like the PR coordinator. I want to make sure every news outlet knows what we're up to. Um, and then having access for any outlets to contact us if they want to know more about our players, our staff, what's going on with the justice, pretty much all that.
You also set up the Discord, right?
I adopted the Discord.
Okay,
So
yeah.
originally the Discord was it was formed by Sin. Well, I don't think it was actually Sin.
Sin, Gig, and
Tina.
Tina.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Gig was the one who primarily put it all
Yeah, I
together.
think so,
And there
yeah.
used to be like 2 Discords, I think, and
Yeah.
then they eventually merged into one,
Yeah.
which is great. And then yes, I
Now
adopted
you
it,
own it.
made it all official.
Yeah.
It's I was the one who had to officialize it with Discord, be like, "Hi, this is ours." Like, we get it verified and
You
stuff.
made this? I made this.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, Gig has handed it lovingly into our hands, and we've taken it from there. Esther has been very involved in morphing it into what it is today,
I
which
mean,
is
it's
great.
how I actually met James. Like, I've gotten so much out of the Justice Discord. I've made so many amazing friends. It's just like giving back to it is literally the least I can do because it's just an amazing place. Yeah. James, next question.
Yeah. So
Or any
so
follow-up questions.
so our next question is like what else do you help out with the justice? Is there like any other like side things you do?
Oh my god. I think esports is you never are just what your job title entails. It is not only like kind of startup culture you like where you just like grab a bucket and try to like take the water out of the boat helping wise. You just do anything and everything from setting up the practice facility. One of my major projects that I have taken on is actually doing trademarking for the Washington Justice.
Oh,
And I'm just like, I don't understand all of these, but I'm gonna do my best to get what you need so this is trademarked properly. So that is definitely super out of my range of specialties and knowledge. And I'm just like, well, I am now the person people come to when they're like, we have to trademark this. I'm like, okay, what categories are we trademarking this in?
That's quite random, actually.
Other than that, it is so it is like esports, you're never gonna just be doing what you're assigned to do.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've helped with the content team, I'm helping with the social team, like, we all just, like, help each other
what
Yeah.
sort of things
get
have you had to like trademark?
the logo. Anything the logo is on, we're trademarking it. It is so hard because there's other entities with the Justice name in it, so it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
constant back
Wasn't
and
there like
forth, and then the
what-
shield is a little bit similar to other things, and I'm just like, "Please, it's a different shield."
wasn't the Washington football team gonna be calling themselves Washington Justice or something? I remember there was something about like a football team that wants to, or a team that wants to call themselves the Justice, and then you guys were like,
Actually, yes. So when the Washington former Redskins wanted to do their whole rebrand, a lot of their fans were just like suggesting names under them, and one person put the Washington Justice. Luckily, we have a lot of
Wasn't
football
it a
fans.
celebrity?
Might
I
have
think it
been.
was a
So it might have
celebrity
been just
who
like
said it.
anyone with a verified check, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but luckily, there's people from the Justice who are also fans of the local football team, and they're just like, well, actually, there's an esports team. And we're just like, wonder if we could sell the trademark and make some money off of it. But I think it would have to go through like all of Blizzard's legal, and
Yeah.
Blizzard's legal is much more robust than our department.
Mm.
And you need to find and you'd need to find a new name yourselves. So it would have been a whole thing.
Yes.
So we were talking about the Discord earlier. What sort of community events have the Justice run in the past, and what more do you have planned in the future for people who might want to get involved?
You've been there for all our community ancestors. Um, so it's, I think our most consistent, like, ongoing thing is having game night with people in the Discord. It's been a really good event to bring people back to playing Overwatch. Everyone's just like, I haven't played a first person game in 2 weeks. This is my time to get back into Overwatch and play a little bit and understand what's happening in the game, understand like any new characters, maps, meta changes. I think it's a good opportunity during game night, like if you haven't played Overwatch in a while, to get back into it. And then it's also a good like 2-week check-in with other people, being like, what's up with you? What's changed with you? And most of the time it's like nothing, still
Yeah.
inside. Won't be going anywhere.
Yeah.
As well as you guys, both of you have helped me a lot with the Discord tournaments. So we run little community tournaments, 1v1s, 3v3s, in the Discord. Just why not? A little competition. Never hurt anyone. Gotta
Yeah.
get some experience. Gotta just have some fun with your friends when you enter too.
Yeah. It's really fun to cast as well.
Then,
It's like
yeah,
so much.
when it's 6 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, we get breaks. It's fine.
When it
Uh,
doesn't overrun, it's fun. When it does overrun,
It's only for overrun
get
like
tired.
once or twice or more than that. I don't know.
Or every time.
Hey,
So,
I think the 3v3 was pretty on track
Yeah, it was great.
with
yeah, that was
timing.
good.
I predicted that one pretty close, so I was kind of
Yeah.
proud. But the 1v1 just threw me off because people weren't showing up, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
And
People thought
people
every
like,
game would be
yeah.
streamed.
Oh, it was so
So,
stressful. Just
delayed
trying to like
starts.
ping people. Spending.
So, our next question is
Oh wait, no,
how.
I also need to
Yeah.
give a shout out to our watch parties, because that's when
Oh, yeah.
the skin and spray code drops.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing everyone's reaction together instead of
Yeah.
like having it flood through YouTube chat.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you can actually
People
read messages here. It's
spamming,
great.
people spamming the Chuban decay into carry emojis.
Yes.
Okay, so our next question is how has COVID affected your job?
Well, like I said, I did all the live events, and I went from all the live events to no live events because DC had a restriction of you cannot have a gathering of 6 or more people in a room. So of course that shifted everything to online events. That's where all the things I've been living on in Discord. So it's
Yeah.
like the same answer as the last question. We've done that, and then we've also been shifted to make more digital content and produce more things to put on social media.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
yep,
in
that's
fairness, like the going online, I think it's had a huge effect on a lot of fans because, in a good way, because like
Mhm.
I wouldn't have been able to get so involved with Justice if they weren't live stuff because like I can't exactly just like fly to America and join all the live events, but I can like help out with game nights and I can like what was it? So I think it's been like Justice has done like a really cool job of managing to keep everything and keep people still involved even though we're not exactly in person.
Basically there. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the 2020 season of Overwatch League, the Justice made a huge comeback in picking up the player decay. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I suddenly went back thinking I got the wrong player name by accident. It's completely
There's been so many announcements. It's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. Completely coming third, I believe, in the NA region. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes,
from after being like last or second last for the entire season, what are your thoughts on how that all came about, and how do you think the Justice will perform this year with the many new additions that they've had in the off season?
So, of course, we got Decay under some interesting circumstances. Um, but like a player like that deserves to like show off his talent in the game, in the league. And then we also got double lucky with how the meta worked out for us. But I mean, every team has that meta available for them to use to try and strategize with. So as many times as people are just like, you only got lucky with the meta change, and I'm like, people can also use those
Yeah.
heroes and try to outplay us. But it was just a lot of things just like aligned. The stars aligned for this. Um, it was really great for Roar to understand like the position the Justice were in, and he's just like, I think going into a coaching role would be the most
Mhm.
beneficial for this team. And since he has so much like veteran experience, he actually was really helpful in like setting the mindset for the players and calming them down and understanding what should be analyzed and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, lots of props to Decay, props to having Roadhog be meta. I mean, like Soul also had the same thing. Like Roadhog was good, and then Gesture was like, "It's my time to shine. If I can't play Running, I will play Roadhog." Um, so yeah, it was a very exciting run, though.
Mhm.
The whole Cinderella story with a lot of luck. A very grateful fairy godmother.
Yeah. So how do
I
you?
definitely remember. Oh,
No, go on, James.
I definitely remember like some great moments of justice. Like I think it was season 2, so their first season, the last stage where they went 9 and
Oh,
1. That was quite good.
yeah. And all the
Yeah.
clips you saw of Corey just like killing the LA Gladiators with Hanzo.
And they were
Yeah.
just the first team to beat Titans in the regular season, which is a pretty big thing.
Yes. Yep.
So
That was also, yeah, I think a meta. We
yeah.
were lucky with a meta, and then having Havana in the lineup because apparently um we never let a team complete Havana during that stage or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I remember Havana. I remember the strats on Havana. That was a good bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think the
So
team's gonna be able to perform this season? Like in the coming season with all the new
As
pickups?
yeah, I've heard scrims have been going well. The team likes each other, which is always a good first step. It's hard when like a lot of people go into a new team and like they're either unhappy with how their contract turned out or they've had some history with some other players or heard rumors about other players. Like it can be a rough start with all those factors going in because as many players as there are in the Overwatch League, it's still small pool of people who have to work closely together for like a long periods of time. So it's good to have everybody everyone just be like, yeah, we're gonna be a team this year. Um outside of that, I'm super excited to see Fury and Mag play together because
Yeah.
Mag's rising rookie, Fury's more than experienced veteran all-star dude, superstar. Like I would love to see how they play together, how much Fury is like influencing Mag and how the league is going to be like for him and how Mag can like rejuvenate how strategies are working for like the tank roles. Um again, excited for Decay to be coming back. He has like apparently the best relationship with Supreme, our head coach. Supreme's like
Oh, yeah.
team dad of like so many players. Like not only did he found Seven, which was an Overwatch contenders team. Well, it was like prior to contenders, but it was a Korean Overwatch team. So he had a lot of experience working with all these Korean players that were going into the league or were like rising stars, along with like relationships with other teams. Like he's pretty good friends with Runner, I think, because they were both like single owners, stakeholder owners in their team.
Mhm.
So there's like not many teams that can do that where it's just like I am the owner or I make all the decisions.
Yeah.
And so it's very stressful, but they bonded over that, which was
Yeah.
great. So yes, Decay has been loving working with Supreme a lot, and I think it's really helpful for him to have someone in a more mentor position for him
Yeah.
because I feel like previously he might have not had too much support like from someone who's like older than him and who can understand where he's coming from a lot of the time. So I think since joining the Justice, it's been like a totally different relationship he hasn't had in the Overwatch League, and he wants to hold on to that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really good to hear, actually.
Yeah, and then of course seeing so many familiar faces come together under this team will be awesome. It's like it feels like it's theory crafting. You're just like, what if we just put all these people in a box? Like, what's gonna happen? It's kind of like how I feel like preseason's always like when people are like blowing up their teams and they're just like grabbing things and putting them in a box, and they're just like, what's gonna happen? But
Yeah.
Decay, Tuba worked together before. It'll be great.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah, there are only re-signs from last year to this year.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be so interesting seeing them working together in a DPS role instead of Decay being on tank.
I mean, his Zarya was a
Yeah, true.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how the meta turns out too. After watching the next tournament, it seems like there's a lot of Sombra being played. Like, I don't remember what the other. It was like Sombra with a sniper usually. So you don't know what combination we're gonna get from our 3 DPS that we have, which is also pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now branching off a bit away from Justice into the whole esports scene, what's something that you think could be improved in esports as an industry?
That's a good question. I feel like there's always room for improvement no matter what industry you're in. Like, we tend to be compared to traditional sports a lot, but then traditional sports is learning a lot from esports, and esports is taking a lot from what traditional sports has established. I think esports could improve. I don't know exactly. It's just like there's something about esports that like made it work initially because it was such a grassroots sort of idea where
Yeah.
people are just like, I'm gonna put on a tournament, and then this tournament turned bigger and bigger every year. Especially if you see like the more like FGC ones, they don't get as much support from their parent game. So that esports has been incredible in establishing itself and growing and growing. I think that's what makes esports so special and different, and they're like free to do what their audience wants to do.
Yeah.
Which is really great. It's just like, yes, lean into the memes. That's esports. People love that. The kids
Yeah.
love that these days.
The kids.
The kids. I'm still the kid on our team in the Justice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's just like something good. It's just like I guess that's what something can be improved on. It's just like keep leaning into being esports. Don't try to conform yourself too much into becoming traditional sports, because gaming is rising. Like on YouTube, on the live streams, like the most popular channels are gaming channels, and they don't shy away or like try to become like a vlogger or something to be more appealing to the broader audience, which like they could have leaned into like cooking or exercise sort of places, which is like what I notice a lot of people who don't watch gaming watch on YouTube. So yeah, lean into being esports, lean into being nerds on
Yeah, I
here.
mean, like, I feel like a pretty common answer for that question would always be diversity. But, like, I also feel like that's just a big thing in, like, general. Just, like, especially in, like, sports, whether electronic or real, like, in-person football and stuff. Like, the number, like, there's only one woman in the Overwatch League, I believe. Oh, how her name?
As a player or as
a player. Did she?
Gregory is not hasn't been re-signed.
Oh, did you not? Okay.
So
Yeah.
no, she was released from the Dragons in their
Mhm.
mass release of contracts. I
Oh, I
think
forgot that
her
happened.
contract expired. So
Yeah.
they had a lot of news to give us.
Yeah.
So yes, of course. That's why I didn't answer with diversity, because it's
Mhm.
always an ongoing thing that could be fixed in all industries, all
Yeah.
jobs, all levels, no matter what.
Mm.
Um, it's definitely been helpful to have someone with a different perspective in the room to have that different opinion and see like, oh, this could be problematic for like the community that I've been so engaged with. Like, I
Yeah.
know the people I talk to on a daily basis won't like this if you do this.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I tend to be the differing voice in the room for the justice. They're just like, oh, bring Arina in to get her opinion on this thing. So one of the major things has been apparel, and they're just like, can you help my position with women's apparel? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Like you
I
see
can
all
do
those
this.
like
I
memes.
buy a lot of esports merch.
Yeah. Like you see all those
Yeah.
memes of like gamer dresses designed for girls, but they've been designed only by old white men, and it's just kind of like no
Yeah.
one would ever wear that. So I think it's really good to have like a different perspective and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's also doubly harsh because like you feel like you're so responsible for this huge group of
Mhm.
people. Like, what if the women don't like the merch that we put out that
Yeah.
is marketed more towards them? And I'm just like, I would feel like I would fail that whole community
Yeah.
if I didn't see something, or if it's like I thought it was fine and people are saying otherwise.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's why you need like a group of more than one person
Yeah.
making this decision um on the team. So
Yeah. So,
yeah.
what's something coming to esports that you are excited for in maybe the coming year or two?
I'm still an avid watcher of Valorant esports. I really don't want to see it franchised yet because franchising makes me nervous. um, and I really enjoy how organic esports can
Mhm.
develop and stuff. So definitely seeing that, and then hopefully seeing the international come back. Last year, the international was supposed to be held in Sweden, and if you knew how Sweden handled the pandemic, it wasn't great. It was very canceled,
Yeah.
very canceled. Um,
That's
so
the Dota tournament, right?
yes,
Yeah.
the Dota International Tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's like the
it
biggest.
was just
Okay, I was
yes,
gonna
it
say,
was the biggest prize pool.
yeah, I think I was gonna say Dota 2 in general is like I think it's the biggest prize pool of any esports from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yes, I Fortnite was the biggest at 30 million, and then since Dota 2, I want to say like so Valve puts in like $1 million
Mhm.
for the base of the prize
Yeah.
pool, and then more money is added to it when people buy the battle pass.
Yeah.
So half of the battle pass goes into the international funding and any sort of levels people buy with the battle pass. So like at like level 1000 you can get this really beautiful gorgeous skin, but it's also going to cost you like I don't know, like $250 to get that skin, but like then half of that goes to the
Yeah.
prize pool. And
It's a
so
lot
like
of
the last
battle pass levels.
it's a lot of battle pass levels. And people were not happy about the prizes last year, but the skins were so good. I even bought some myself. I really wanted the Queen of Pain one. She
Nice.
looked so good. I don't know if you can pull her up on stream or anything, but I'm just like, I need that skin. I actually play that character. Um,
Maybe.
but yes, the international last year they still sold the battle pass, and they didn't do anything with the prize pool money. So we're just like kind of sitting there, like, what's gonna happen to
Yeah.
it?
Gonna have a doubly big prize pool next year, maybe.
I think so.
Gonna be hard
That's
to top that in the
That
future.
would be
yes,
insane.
I think that is the
Two
theory
years
of
worth of
Yeah.
yeah, especially if one year was like 34 million, then like they tend to like escalate like no matter what
yeah.
year they will crushed last year's prize pool amount.
Yeah, like
So,
exponential growth.
Using fancy
so
terms
even
there,
if it
James.
was, even if they met like the 2019 prize pool with 34 and doubling that, it would just be like 68. It's just like, oh man, oh my god, what if they coordinated and made it 69 million? Dota 2 community, you are not watching this, but I want you to do this thing.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But it was just so sad last year because Overwatch League and League of Legends still had their major like championship tournaments, and it was still so much fun to watch. And then Dota 2 was just like,
nope.
okay, we're gonna do another
It's
tournament for 100,000.
It's like that meme.
Yeah, it was.
It's like the meme of the person like fading away.
They're just like, where's Dota?
Peace out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Just one more thing to add to that. It's just like, yeah, it's my first esports, so it will always hold a special place in my heart, and I look forward to watching it every year. You know, any championship, it feels like a great cultivating event of like everything this last year that's happened has been building up to this event, and without the international, it felt very empty and sad.
We have someone in chat, Ashento, I believe is the name, saying hi, Arina.
Hi, Shento. Shento is my wonderful league duo. Whenever I play, he plays the con for my Zyra.
Yeah, Zyra.
Yeah. Yes.
James is my
so
carry.
Our next question. So our next question is, who do you look up to within esports?
It's so hard to say because it's just like so
I'm
much
on
of
top.
No, I put myself very bottom of the barrel. I'm getting by. I'm doing my part. In esports, it's always so hard to tell what people do behind closed doors. Like, it's not very public of who is working the hardest, what they're pushing on, what they're planning on doing. I want to say, just in general, with Evil Genius's recent changes and what they've been pushing for, has been really great and like what I want to see in a team, because not only are they still like have a lot of competitive integrity in all their games that they participate. Well, I mean, like their Dota 2 team, they're in North America, so they could just like easily sail by on that. But like getting back into League of Legends is so, I don't know. I feel like really respectable, especially when they already have a game in a MOBA series. And then when Echo Fox collapsed, they brought in Sonic Fox, which just he's the coolest person out there. Sorry, they're the coolest person out there, and I think they're a really good face of what esports can be and how different it can be from traditional sports. And then along with working with so many colleges in who want to get involved into esports has been really great in what I want to do as well for the justice in our local area. And then their CEO is just really bomb in like voicing her opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really cool. So that was the last question that we had planned. However, I wanted to ask one more thing that came to mind while we were talking. What advice? I feel like this is a quite common question you get asked, especially in esports. What advice would you have to someone who wanted to have any career as a player, as a community event organizer, as a manager, as a coach? What advice would you give to someone who wanted to get into the esports industry?
You have to just get involved yourself. You can't just wait for an opportunity to happen. Like, if you want to be a player, then you're gonna have to put in your time, find a team yourself, try out for teams, try out for so many teams if you have to. Get involved any way you can. The only time is it's a limited resource, but it's also a free resource to utilize. So what I've done was just I had a lot of time to organize events. So that's what I did. I put in so much time into just physically actually doing what I wanted to do. And I think that's very important in esports to have initiative on your own.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be just discouraging in any capacity. Like sometimes people don't show up for events and you're just like, well, that's fine. How can I make this better or change it
Yeah.
next time? Or like you're losing a lot, then she's like, what can I do to improve as a player? It's just taking initiative, being consistent, and finding improvement, I think is
Yeah.
my advice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is all the questions we have. I don't know if chat has any questions they would like to ask. Yeah. It's been a weird couple of
So,
while. What are you saying, James?
Yeah.
a couple of while.
I don't know. I was gonna speak, and then you started speaking, so I wanted to round off what I was saying quickly.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna thank Arina for coming on today.
Yeah.
It's been lovely
Yeah,
having you
of
here.
course.
Yeah.
It's always so easy to talk to you guys and all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
Yeah. It's nice when it's like a friend on the podcast. Because it's just
For sure.
easier to have like conversation, and like, of course, we've
Mhm.
done a lot of stuff together with Justice, and yeah,
Yes.
that's what.
And then it's just like,
Ashento says no thoughts, head empty.
Well, that's a mid.
I love him. Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So yeah, I think that is us done today.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do for the rest of your evening?
Probably
Watch.
some Valorant for me.
Actually, yeah, James, you want to play some Valorant
You're still
after
playing
this?
Valorant? You
Yeah.
guys are still playing Valorant?
I got into
Yeah.
it recently. Like, I got into it like
Oh my god.
3 days ago, and I've been slightly obsessed.
Yeah.
Who do you play?
Sky actually.
Filthy Jet, one trick.
Is it because she's Scottish?
She's Australian.
She's Australian.
Oh, did I mix it up with the Apex one?
Yeah,
The
you
other
did.
redhead
Yeah.
character?
Yeah, that's Horizon.
Yeah.
She's
Oh my
Scottish.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
quite funny. As soon as I got sus into League, they added a Scottish character in Lilia, which is
Oh
quite
my.
funny.
But yeah, I was a Sage main. Well, no, but I've played Valorant twice. When it first came out, I played Sage because I couldn't aim. But now I've been playing Sky. I still can't aim, but at least I'm actually getting some kills. So
How many times have you blinded your own teammates?
I don't have blinds, so I don't have to worry. Oh wait, no, I do.
You have flashes. Yeah, you have the bird.
Yeah.
And I could definitely say that she has before.
when she's releasing the bird.
I could definitely say that she may have done it once or twice.
I haven't played since they released Icebox, and I knew she had a
Oh,
flash.
Icebox. Yeah. So we were like, I started playing it when it first like in the beta, and then my friends just stopped playing it, and I hate playing games on my own. So I was just like always like, friends, do you want to play? And they just were like, nah, and just everyone's got back into it. So I'm like, finally.
To be fair,
And then
I think I
Glitch
was
Top
actually.
came out
I
recently,
think
and
I
I'm
was
like,
actually the one who said, "Yo, I want to try Valorant. Is anyone
yeah,
down?"
you're the one. Yeah, you're the one who got everyone to. But I was like, finally, someone else is wants to play.
Yes, it's a very intimidating
Oh,
game
yeah.
to just
Especially
pick up and
'cause,
try to
like,
play, and it's very
in low elos for like ranked, like 80%, not 80, like 20% of the people are Smurfs, and so you just like never climb because it's just always people wrecking you, and you're just like, well,
Why are we still here?
we're
Yeah.
just food for all these players to feast on. Yeah. I wish I could still keep up with Valorant and stuff, but it's just like an intense 20 minutes of gameplay, and I'm just like stressed the whole time, and I'm just like, why don't I just like
Sweat
no brain
out
it
your head.
in
Quite often, a lot of my friends when
no
we're
brain it in League?
yeah, quite often a lot of my friends will end up getting tilted And I don't usually tilt unless my friends start tilting, so I'm just there trying to be obnoxiously positive, where they're all like saying "shut up," and I'm like, oh, "Okay then, we got this."
Yeah, I feel that. It's just like you're trying to be like the mediator. It's just like
Yeah.
it's fine, and it's like you can feel them being like discouraged and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like we can just
Like,
do one round at a time.
I was like, we hold them at 12,
And
and they're just like, "shut up," and I'm like, okay.
GG, go next.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, thank
All right.
you so much again for
Yeah.
coming, Arina. It has been great having you.
No problem. Thanks for having me, and good job on taking the initiative and starting a podcast. It can be so
James.
intimidating to like sit in front of a camera and just talk about anything.
Yeah,
Mm.
You
it's
know,
been really fun though. Like,
put in fodder.
yeah, like it was actually a lot of months ago that me and James decided to set up Red Space, and it's genuinely been like so much fun doing it. Like with our charity events, we raised like £600 in total for charity. And I was like in
I want to
total.
say 5.
Oh yeah.
I think 500
500.
total.
But it's
And
just
we
been
have
like.
we have a little certificate from Children in Need on my door. I need to get that framed. I am
put it on the
very
table.
organized. I it's very good that my chair is blocking
Yeah,
behind
there's
me
like
because my floor is a mess.
a bit of a mess. But yeah, we're planning on, for those of you who are watching, we're planning on doing more stuff. We're gonna start another podcast actually. Hopefully in 2 weeks' time should be the first episode of that, and we're gonna start doing games every other week for when we do have podcasts on. So if you want to come watch that, we're just gonna be like messing around on Valorant or TFT or League or Overwatch maybe. If we can get back into that. But yeah.
So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we shall catch you later.
Bye.